changing their mind. You change their mind about you by changing your mind about yourself. And here is how it works. You, in your mind, you are someone working to have their approval. Think about it for a second. This is in your mind, because everything that you do, you already know in your mind that what you're doing on the constant every day is thinking about how to do things so that you win their approval. And so guess what? When that is the mindset that you're operating from, that is also the mindset and the aura that you're going to be giving off. And in everything that you do and say to them, they're going to get that, they're going to perceive it. They're going to get that energy. In the way that you move around in the relationship, and in the way that you conduct yourself, and in the way that you conduct things, and in the way that you approach them with everything, they're going to read it from you. These are the subconscious things that we're not conscious about. They're going to read it from you that you are trying to win their approval. You're trying to get them to be on the same page as you. And so guess what? You have automatically changed the energy in this relationship. You have given over to them, like I said in our earlier videos, the position of God, the one who approves for you, the one for whom you are there to worship and to do things to please. So get this straight. So you need to change the way that you're seeing yourself in this relationship, in your mind, so that you can act from a different position, and then they will begin to experience a different energy from you. And this is what we mean when we say that energy reflects back. We reflect what we're thinking in our minds out there, and that is what we get back. Because when people talk about it and they talk about manifestations, the language always is woo-woo, so that in your mind, it's just woo-woo, so you're not really getting the message. But now that I've explained it this way, this is what you operate from. This is the meaning when it is said that your energy is giving this or that, and therefore that's what you are getting. So once you reposition what you're doing in your mind, you're repositioning yourself in your mind. Stop looking at it like, this is a relationship where I'm having problems, and so I'm going to do the right things to make things work. Because that is what puts us in a position of being the worker in the relationship where we're trying to get things to work right. But when you change the way that you are looking and perceiving yourself in the relationship, you're going to move differently. And who are you? You are a person who is doing great. I am giving the right things, I am giving the right vibes, and so I am expecting. You'll begin to give off that energy of expecting this person to treat you the way that they would treat a person who gives these things that you give. How do they treat a person who is high value? That is all that we're on the lookout for. And when you don't get that, your thoughts are not, what do I do to get this from this person? Your thoughts are, something is wrong with this person. They can't reason properly, and they're not seeing this thing of high value. It's like casting your pearls before swine. So now your attitude is more of irritation. I'm not saying that you're going to be acting like you're irritable towards them. So now all of a sudden you change the energy in this thing. You're no longer giving, what can I do to make this person feel this way or do this way? You're now giving, something is wrong. So that's the energy that you give off unconsciously. And so when you are now not getting that from them, your reactions are going to show that the energy is no longer that of someone who's waiting for approval. Remember that you're not an easy item to find. You're valuable. And most of all, you are someone who wants someone to love and appreciate them. And that is all that you're giving. Remember that in the last video, I talked about the outcomes that we're waiting for. There are things that we're waiting for, that we're holding on to, that we're attached to. And those things are the things that make us abandon ourselves. So right now, do you not feel like you've abandoned yourself? You've abandoned yourself. And you're shrinking yourself. Imagine shrinking yourself. That is just not right. It's abuse. So someone else is abusing you, and then you are joining hands with them to abuse yourself. Imagine that, by shrinking yourself. No, you deserve to be whole and full and complete. You are lovely, and that should be appreciated. I don't want you to ever come with an attitude of aggression and antagonism. That's not it. You're coming from, oh wow, I am just it, right? And I deserve to have this. And if I'm not getting it, then I need to move myself out of this space, because this space here does not deserve me. This space is shrinking to me. It's not big enough for me. And so that outcome that you're waiting for, you need to remove your mind from it. Like from thinking about that outcome in this particular relationship, that attachment, putting all of it in this relationship and with this person. Because they know that you want to have that baby. They know that you want to have that marriage. They know that you want to have that relationship. So the moment that you stop thinking that way, because you realize that it may not be the right thing to do with this person, you'll feel that change in your vibes. Because as long as you hold on to that, they'll continue to know that this person wants this thing from me. And so I can do whatever I want, because they're not going to let go of me, because they want this thing with me. So it's all about changing your own mind about your own self. That's what it is. So let me ask you this question. Are you shrinking yourself and changing who you are because of another human being? Are you turning yourself into a beggar instead of staying faithful to who God created you to be? And here's another thing. It means that you have forsaken God and forsaken who you are and who you were created to be. And therefore, I hope you realize that it means that you've chosen to turn your back on God. And so therefore, what happens? It's like idol worship. When people turn away and worship idols, what does God do? God turns his back on them. How can I make this get any clearer? And that is why you feel so devastated. That is why you now start feeling little. You feel shrunken. You feel like your voice is lost. You feel like this is not who you are. You feel like this is a smaller version of you. You feel like your voice is gone. You feel you even begin to look tired and feel tired because you're not resting well, because you're so focused on this thing that is draining you. It's draining your life source. Your life source is being drained away, and this is because it is like, just take it literally, like God has turned his back on you. And so the price that we end up paying for associating with wrong people is far too much for us to not be strict about the way that we see ourselves in our minds and determining who we let into our lives. Now, if what I've explained in this video is you, hit that thumbs up button, like this video, and if you haven't subscribed, do that now so that you'll always know when I upload, and tell me in the comments that this has opened your eyes and that you're going to quit, that you're quitting now, you're quitting the struggle love now. And make sure that you join the community. Very soon I'll start posting how to join that community so that we can all get together. You see, when we're together, we're stronger, because you will hear about other people's experiences and you will see that yours isn't different. There's a pattern to these things, and you will find out that you'll get proof, confirmation that these things don't change. Remember when I told you to do that exercise in that other video where I said understand your relationships and stop explaining yourself so that you can figure out how your relationships work? See, these things don't change. The only way that you get anything or get them to change is by changing ourselves, changing our minds, changing our perceptions, and changing our position. You're not going to get someone else to change. We're going to work only on ourselves. And with everything that you do with yourself and your mindset and your perception of things, you will reflect that change, and then that change will begin to manifest in your life. Like this video, and let's get on to the next episode.